So now we look at how to construct a box plot. It would be another discussion topic in section 3.4. So in order to construct a box plot, we need a what's so-called 5-number. We need the 5-number summary. Okay, and what is a 5-number summary? It basically the 5-number summary contains the minimum value, the Q1 value, the Q2 value, and Q3 value, which I explained to be the 25th percentile, the 50th percentile, and the 75th percentile, and lastly the maximum value. So these 5 values right here make up the what's so-called the 5-number summary. And so that's what we need before we can construct a box plot. And so now, jumping into our real example, how to construct a box plot, let's look at our example right here. Construct the box plot for dataset 1. Okay, so, and once again, of course, it would always be a big help that you can put your data in order so that you can easily find the minimum value. And so in this case, for data 1, minimum value is 60. Maximum value from data 1 is 124. So now we are responsible to find the Q1 value. And once again, Q1 value is the same as the 25th percentile. And so the way of finding it, we need to find a locator. And the locator is found by doing 25 over 100, because we're talking about the 25th percentile, and times 40, which is the total number of data values on the list. And so now my locator would be a equals to a 10, that which is a whole number. So now to find my Q1 value, or the 25th percentile, what you need to do is you find the 10th value on the list, and we adding that to the 11th value on the list, and we averaged by 2. And so now if you look on my list right here, this list right here that I have is containing my dataset 1. And so my 10th value on the list is a 68. My 11th value is also a 68. And so I add all those 2 values and divide it by 2. My Q1 value is a 68. Okay, and so now looking over to find Q2 value, Q2 is the same as the 50th percentile. Okay, so once again, as long as we're treating Q2 value as a percentile, then to find that Q2 value, we need to find a locator once again. This time we do 50 over 100 times 40, and so locator this time would be a 20. So now, and once again, the locator, as it turns out, is a whole number. So to find Q2 or the 50th percentile, you are going to look into the 20th data item and adding that to the 21st data item on the list, and we divide it by 2. So once again, how do I know to find the 20th percentile? Because my locator tells me that my locator is a 20, which tells me that I need to look for the 20th data value and adding that together to the 21st data value, and we divide all that by 2. That's just the rule how we find a percentile when locator is a whole number. And so now on my list, let's see where the 20th data item can be. So my 20th value is a 72, and my 21st value is a 76, and we're dividing all that here by 2. So the answer here is a 74. Okay, and so keep in mind 74, which is the Q2 or the 50th percentile, is not necessarily on the list itself, and I never said that these percentile value has to be on the list. Each of these percentile value, it doesn't have to be on the list of data value. And so now we're going to look into the last number, which is the Q3 value. Okay, so Q3 can be understood as a P75 or the 75th percentile. And so once again, as long as we think of Q3, the quartile, as a percentile, we can always find that Q value by doing the locator. So 75 over 100 times 40. And this time my locator is going to turn out to be a 30, and which is another whole number again. So to find my Q3 as a 75th percentile, I'm going to simply look for my 30th data value on the list, and I'm adding that to my 31st data value on the list, and we're averaging the two values. And so now once again back to my list that I have on the calculator here. What I can see is that my 30th value is equals to an 80, and I'm adding that to my 31st value, which is also an 80, as you can see. And so here we're dividing all that by 2, and that's going to give me 80. So 80 would be my third quartile. So now I have had enough of the 5-number summary. So now my 5-number summary would be 5-number summary would be just simply the minimum value is a 60, and now 68 is my Q1, 74 is my Q2, and 80 is my Q3, and 124 is my maximum value. So now this is my 5-number summary. And so now, as soon as we finish making the 5-number summary, we can now turn over to making the box plot. So to make a box plot, it's actually quite simple. The idea now is we're gonna make a visual display of all the 5-number summary. So now draw for yourself a line of numbers, and pretend that this line right here is just simply the line of numbers. We're gonna lay down all those values, all the 5 values that we found earlier, into this line. And so now, somewhere close to the left end, I'm putting down the minimum value. And so, as a label, that's a minimum value, and here as an actual value, it's a 60. And then for the higher end, the maximum value, once again, just to the right end, somewhere near the right end. And the way I would do it is, I mean, you can put these maximum and minimum right at the two ends of your line, which is also okay too. But a lot of time, what I would do is I just simply keep the line a little bit extended to the two ends here. So my maximum value here is 124. And now our responsibility now is to throw in those Q1, Q2, and Q3 values in between these two values, minimum and maximum, in somehow appropriate scale. So my Q1 value is a 68, which is much closer to 60. So now I'm putting it here. 68 is about there, and that is my Q1 as a label. And then Q3, my Q3 value is an 80. Okay, Q3 is an 80. And so you can see that Q3 is closer to the maximum value. So that's an 80. We're calling that Q3. And now, in between Q1 and Q3, we're trying to fit in Q2. And notice Q2 is a 74, and comparing between Q1 and Q3, Q2 is actually closer to 80, which is Q3. So I'm slightly putting that closer to Q3. So there's my Q2 with value 74. And so that's how I lay down my 5-number summary with all the somehow appropriate scaling. And so now, where's the box? The idea now is that through the marking for Q1, I can just make a straight line through. Through the marking for Q2, I can make a vertical line through that. And through the marking for Q3, I can once again make a straight vertical line through that. And here, I connect my line in that way. And there I draw for myself a rectangular box. And that is my box plot. Okay. And so now with these vertical lines, I mean, a lot of times some creative students make those line dash. That would be all right as well. Okay. But this is the box plot for dataset 1.